Hey everyone, this is a quick presentation on how to implement internal analytics for startups. My name is Landon, and I run a consulting agency where we help tech startups and SaaS companies to create and implement data strategy intended to increase profit. And after working with these tech companies, we've come up with a couple frameworks that I'm going to share with you in this presentation. And these three frameworks are all oriented around increasing the profit of your business, particularly for tech startups and SaaS companies above 5 million annual revenue per year. And so if you're a tech startup, we believe that you should really be doing three main things with your data. Number one is using your data to reduce churn rates and increase the lifetime value of your customer. Number two is to lower your customer acquisition costs by using advanced attribution. And number three is by using your business data to optimize your operations and reduce wasted developer time building features that nobody wants to use. And there are a lot of other things that you could be doing with your business data. But at Data Analytics, we found that if you focus on just these three things primarily, then your business is going to grow as fast as possible. I really don't need to explain how important lifetime value and customer acquisition costs are to a growing startup. Just imagine how a fractional increase in that customer lifetime value would affect both your profits and your business valuation. And on top of that, imagine how much quicker your business would grow if the cost for you to acquire a new customer was cut in half. And I know cut in half seems like a big jump, but I've worked with companies before where they've been able to reduce their customer acquisition cost by 50% just by using the tools that I'll detail later in this presentation. So starting first with the objective of lowering churn rates to increase lifetime value, this is one of the most, if not the most important thing that internal analytics will do for your business. See, once you're in a place where you're collecting data on your customers, it's a lot easier to have an analyst look at all of that data and find commonalities between the customers who cancel. And if you're at a place in your business growth where you've already had customers cancel, then likely there's enough data there to start drawing conclusions about what makes a customer more or less likely to cancel. And so what you can do once you have all this data is you can have an analyst look at all the different data available and draw conclusions about different factors that make a customer more or less likely to cancel. And then you can use that to look at your current customers and predict who is more or less likely to cancel. And this will help your business in a lot of ways because whoever you have doing customer success can reach out proactively to the customers at the top of the list and ask them how your business can improve their user experience. And oftentimes, businesses don't even need to act on that feedback, as just the act of reaching out to these customers at risk of churning is enough to keep them from canceling. And when you combine the improvements to the product made from having this data with the fact that your customer success team is able to reach out proactively to customers about to churn, this will definitely lower your churn rate, slower at first, and then over time you'll probably see some pretty significant reduction in cancellations. And now on to the second objective, which is to use your business and marketing data to reduce your customer acquisition costs. Now, most of the work involved around this objective is setting up all of the proper attribution and getting all of that marketing data in one place. There are tools like Hyros that do this, but a lot of startups need custom processes and custom tech in order to properly attribute their marketing spend, their leads, and their closed deals. But once your analytics team does all the work to get this set up properly, then it's probably going to end up saving you hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in marketing spend per year. Because as a business, when you're in a place of knowing how much you're spending on every ad, every demographic, every channel, and then how many leads and how many closed deals are coming from each of those sources, you're able to crank up the spend to the higher performing ads and channels and turn down the spend to the ones that aren't performing as well. And lowering your customer acquisition costs can really be that simple because a lot of startups already have a lot of marketing efforts underway, a lot of different creative on a lot of different platforms that they can look at and evaluate which of that is performing best, and not only crank up the spend to what's performing best, but it also informs their marketing efforts for the future on what sort of creative they need to produce next. And so off the bat, you'll see usually a drop in customer acquisition costs, but as you continue to iterate and make more creative, this creates a loop that will lower your customer acquisition costs even more over a longer period of time and also set you up so that you know your marketing budget is being spent optimally. Now, objective number 3 is one we usually wait to approach until last when helping startups because the benefits are marginal compared to the first two. But you can still see some pretty significant reductions in costs when you use your internal analytics to monitor your business operations and reduce waste. Now for software companies, one of the best examples of this is implementing a product analytics feature like Pendo that allows you to see how your users are using your product. And then you can use this data at roadmap meetings to decide which features to develop in the future. So without this data and these insights, you might develop some new features that your customers don't want at all. This will slow down your subscription growth and also waste developer time that could have been better used to develop features that would actually grow your subscriber base. And so when you're implementing internal analytics in your business, it's important to look at all of your operations, look at the type of data that you can collect, and then have analysts create reporting around that so you not only have accountability on performance metrics, you can also make decisions as a leader that will reduce your waste and increase your profits as a result. And now to recap what we talked about, if you're a business who's looking to set up internal analytics, or you already have internal analytics set up and you want to make sure that you're using your business data optimally, the three main things that you should be doing with your data are: number one, using product and customer data to prevent cancellations and increase the lifetime value of your customer. Number two is to use advanced attribution and marketing spend data so that you can make decisions that will lower your customer acquisition costs. And number three is to take an assessment of your operations, what type of data can be collected, and use that data to make decisions that will eliminate waste and increase your profits. And if you're a tech company or a SaaS startup that's above $5 million annual revenue and you have trouble doing these things or would like help setting up internal analytics from the ground, then me and my agency would be happy to help with that. Feel free to send me a message on LinkedIn and I'll get back to you within a few hours. Also, feel free to check out my LinkedIn page for regular updates and posts on topics similar to what I covered in this presentation.